Hi there, my name's Lawson and I've just come back from India. So when I was in India, I got a chance to learn quite a bit about the Indian English dialect and about Hindi, so I thought I'd return the favour. So here's a guide to Aussie slang for Indian people thinking about coming to Australia. First really important phrase is how you're going, and that basically means how are you. Contrary to popular belief, it actually doesn't refer to the mode of transport in which you're travelling, so please keep that in mind. Arvo just means afternoon, so someone might just say, have a good arvo, so it just means afternoon. So this is a really divisive one, because there are so many different words here, but a thong, in Australian slang, or a pair of thongs, is the same thing in Hindi as chappals, so they're basically like sandals, but the kind that sort of attach to your toe. Not a G-string, that's American slang, and be careful if you ever go to America to not refer to chappals as thongs, they're flip-flops over there, be really careful. Okay, well this one is my personal favourite. It's called Goon, and basically it's in Hindi a gunda or a goon is basically almost like a hitman, a bad guy, a member of the mafia, a very common thing in Bollywood movies. But in Australia, goon actually refers to very cheap wine served in a sack. And so basically for $13 you can get really cheap wine, and there's this really fun game that teenagers and sometimes uni students really like to play, which is called Goon of Fortune, where you get a spinny clothesline and you peg all of these sacks of goon, and then you spin it, and then whichever one lands on top of you, you take a drink. It's pretty amazing. And in much more stereotypical slang, Sheila basically refers to a woman. Very generic, and not many people use it these days, but I know that it's very popular in India, especially Sheila ki Javani, if anyone knows that song. My name is Sheila, Sheila ki Javani, I'm too sexy for you, main tere haath na aani. So here are two words that sort of sound the same, but they're not exactly the same. So the first is a durry, and very simply it's a word for a cigarette, but the thing to note here is that durry is not specific about what's in the cigarette, if you catch my drift. The second word is Dunny, which is almost a very rural way of saying toilet. You won't hear a lot of people call it a dunny, but I can imagine it can be quite confusing if someone just tells you to go to the dunny. Mate, don't light durries when you're sitting on the dunny, you'll set fire to the bathroom. So one other thing that's really hilarious between Indian English and Australian English is the phrase to pass out. So I know in India, and this was news to me when I travelled, to pass out means to graduate, usually from university, from college. But in Australia it has a very different meaning. To pass out basically means to fall unconscious. Most of the time that's within the context of getting drunk. So, oh my god, I had like 10 beers and then I passed out on Davo's floor, mate. So there you have it, that's my guide to Strayan English. Thanks for watching.